Vy2 V3 was included for free with the Vocaloid 3 software as a minor update, but Vy2 V3 is quite different. Released October 19, 2012, Vy2 V3 was diversified a little bit. It has two different voice banks, standard and falsetto. The standard voice bank is much like its original voice bank, but it has a slightly larger range and it is focused on the low to mid-range notes, where the falsetto voice bank is focused on the higher notes. While this is great for producers that want to use Vy2 V3 to sing deep, low songs or high songs, it creates a problem with those who want to use it to sing in the mid-range. The standard voice bank has relatively poor high notes, and the falsetto voice bank is only good for high notes. So if a song style toes the line between the voice banks, using both becomes necessary. But Vy2 V3 gives very good results if used properly. In June 2001, a Japanese record label named Exit Tunes was established. In 2009, it began releasing Vocaloid albums for Krypton Future Media and Internet Co., among others. Exit Tunes became very popular and respected in the Vocaloid fandom for its popular and high-quality albums, featuring several that have ranked within the top 5 of Oricon's daily album ranking. After working with Vocaloids for a few years, Exit Tunes thought that they would like to try making their own Vocaloid, and in May 2012 they announced that they were doing exactly that. Mayu was released less than a month ago on December 5, 2012. Due to her early announcement, there was a bit of a buzz about Mayu before her release, and she has received a great deal of fan art. While her voice sounds good and fits her stated age of 15, and she is the first Vocaloid to sport the fairly popular Gothic Lolita attire, There's something about Mayu that probably lent more to her early popularity than her voice bank. Mayu is the first ever yandere-inspired Vocaloid. If you don't know what yandere means, well, let's just say that despite her youthful, cute girl visage, songs designed to suit her character won't be the happy, feel-good type. When I was originally writing Oliver's piece, I wrote that Oliver was the last of the currently released English Vocaloids. Had I had the motivation to begin this series when I first began writing it, that would have remained true. But barely more than a week ago, English Vocaloid fans would receive a very special Christmas present. Everyone, meet Ivana from 0G. That Ivana is a mature female English Vocaloid does not make her groundbreaking, but her developers excitedly related that they believe Avaana is the highest quality voice bank they have ever worked on, with one of the broadest ranges of the English Vocaloids. Her voice is realistic and her pronunciation is clear, though some say her consonants overpower her vowel sounds. She also has a Celtic accent to her voice, which is intentional. When I made the Bruna and Clara segment, I mentioned there was some backlash about their character art being non-anime inspired. This is actually what their character art was prior to their release, with their current box art being the revised version. I apologize for my error in their segment. But because of that backlash, Yamaha decided that English language Vocaloids should have anime-inspired avatars, and so Ivana's character art was rejected at first. The artist originally designed Ivana with realistic proportions, even stating that she based her body type on one of her sisters. The demands from Yamaha forced her to start over, and the result is what is on Ivana's box. I have to say that I enjoy the original version, and it's a shame that she had to go back and redo it, but either way Ivana looks great. Apart from changing the art style, Yamaha also decided to take away a unique trait from Ivana, her elf ears. Ivana is Irish, and some of her character art concepts included pointy elf ears. I have no idea why Yamaha made this decision. They okayed a singing baby green dinosaur and a fairy, and elves are so popular in anime and video games in Japan. But, if you look closely, there is a faded image of Ivana's original character design on the box art, replete with her elf ears. Ivana's artist welcomes Ivana fans to draw her with or without her elf ears.
To follow where you are, and I'm wishing on a dream, to follow what it means, and I'm wishing on the rainbows that I see. I'm wishing on the people who really dream, and I'm wishing into the starlit night. Foolish dreamers turn their gaze, waiting on a shooting star. But what if that star is not to come? Will their dreams fade to nothing when the horizon darkens most? We all need to believe there is hope. There's an angel watching closely over me. Can be a guiding light harder to see? Oh no, my heart should guide me, but there's a hole within my chest. Me off this courteously, and I have loved you now so long, delighted in your company. Green sleeves was my delight. Green sleeves, my heart of gold. Green sleeves was my heart of joy. And who but my lady Green Sleeves?
Avaana is the most recently released Vocaloid as of today, December 31st, 2012. I could end this video here, but since I have some extra time, I'll go through some of the Vocaloids that are on the horizon and will likely be released in 2013. But before I do that, I'd like to mention a Vocaloid that has been in development for 6 years and yet will likely never be released. When I said Gachapoid was the weirdest Vocaloid, I was so close and yet so far. On March 27, 2007, many Japanese people were saddened by the passing of a man named Ueki Hitoshi, who died at the age of 80. Ueki had a long career in the music and acting industries in Japan, and he was a popular, well-known comedian. Since the early days of the Vocaloid project, Yamaha had been working on a logical consequence of their Vocaloid technology. A Vocaloid's voice bank is built from the voice of a singer in a recording studio. But if you already had hundreds of hours of recorded dialogue and singing, couldn't you substitute that for the live recording? That concept began Yamaha's Legend of Vocaloid project, to take audio from aged and deceased singers and turn them into Vocaloids. Ueki is so far the only person confirmed to be a part of this project, but it is likely that there are others already in production. When I first heard about this project, I had personal reservations, but it turns out that Ueki's family asked to have him turned into a Vocaloid, so Yamaha has their blessing. Uekiloid is the only Vocaloid of the Legend of Vocaloid project to have details released, and he has been in production since 2006, before Ueki passed away. Yamaha has no plans at all to release Uekiloid to the public as usable software. He exists as a way to show the progress of their technology. Because of this, I couldn't find any video demos of Uekiloid, although a few sound bites do exist. A Vocaloid who was originally slated for a 2011 release has still not been released. Ring Suzune was one of the designs chosen to win a Vocaloid creation contest in 2011, and demos of her voice bank were given out all the way back in February 2012, and yet she still remains unreleased. Ring is the first female Vocaloid to have her release delayed. She has a male counterpart in development named Hibiki Louis, whose design is based on the most well-received male Vocaloid design in that same contest. Since no demos of Louis have been released, it's safe to assume Ring will be released first. Like with Rin and Len, Ring and Louis are based on the concept of left and right. The only other original Vocaloid on the horizon is Merle, who is Aoki Lapis's older sister. She is described as strong-willed and tsundere, but a bit naive. Like Lapis, her name is related to a kind of gemstone, merlinite, which is composed of black and white stone. As for some of the older Vocaloids, all of the Krypton Future Media Vocaloids are planned to have Vocaloid 3 engine updates, and Megarine Luca has her append in development. Some of the Vocaloids also have English voice banks in development, most notably being Miku. Gumi and Siyu are also expected to receive English voice banks, and even Gachapon is getting a V3 update. I hope you've enjoyed watching my series on the Vocaloids. Even if I didn't think they sounded very good, I would still find them interesting from a technology point of view. Luckily, I do enjoy the Vocaloids very much. That is not to say I prefer them to real singers. It will be a very, very long time before a computer can sing as well as a human being. But the Vocaloids are an impressive stepping stone in that direction, and they show that people are open to the idea. I plan to make a few more Vocaloid-related videos, with information pertaining to the Vocaloid avatar characters themselves, such as the item wars, and the relationships between the Vocaloid characters, and perhaps some other things. Have a safe and happy New Year.